You're listening to Not the Sermon with Eric and Jamie.
I am so excited about the shirt that I'm wearing right now.
Dude, that's a pretty epic shirt, man.
Sermonot, I know most of you are audio only, but I am wearing right now on my Christian chest a shirt.
Christian chest.
It received Christ when it was many years ago. It was last, like my arms received Christ first, then my legs and stuff like that. My chest was a holdout for a little bit, but now it too is in fact saved.
Well, when they prayed for me, they said from the top of my head to the bottom of my feet.
Yeah.
So I got whole body salvation the first time.
Yeah, when they prayed for me, they just said, they didn't say to and from. They just said his head and his feet. That was
it.
They
grabbed you by the earlobes and said, "Lord, bless these lobes."
Yeah. And so, but my chest did get saved, and it's evidenced by this. Maybe they'll clip this. Maybe our summer intern Eva will clip this for us
if AI will let her.
It's a Not the Sermon T-shirt.
It's a mission patch.
It says new Eppies and Seggies Weekly.
Yeah. Precisely why I'm not wearing mine right now. No, I'm just kidding. I refuse to have those words tattooed on my chest.
And it's got an astronaut who is a sermonaut with a Not the Sermon mug.
It's got you guys on it.
And it says the perfect blend of comedy and theology.
Yeah.
So,
and it's cute. It's like a little mission patch that you would get if you were like going on Project Hail Mary or something.
Yeah. So thank you to friend of the pod, Beef.
Friends of the pod.
And other friend of the pod who's not actually been on the pod yet, Tom.
Yeah, Tom.
That made this happen.
Tom would be fun.
He would. Yeah, we need to have him on. Yeah, for sure. What's going on with you, dude?
Nothing much. Just got off a 1-week staycation.
All right. Did you stay?
I did. It was nice.
Did you cation?
I did somewhat. So yeah, I kind of stayed home and just caught up on some work around the house and kind of did my thing. It was really nice. Then decided to take the family out for a couple days of fun. So one day we went to a little like zoo museum thing that's in Tallahassee. Shout out Tallahassee Museum. It was all right. You kind of just walk out there and there's like a poster that says somewhere here there's a deer.
There may be a rabbit.
There might be a fox, we think.
Yeah.
And then so you're just staring at trees and you're like, oh. And then you see
they couldn't legally call it a zoo.
Yeah.
So they had to.
And so we walked around and just kind of did that. We spent some time at the pool. I'm very tan.
Okay.
It's actually looks good. I would like that.
The way you repeat it, very tan, like some are saying.
Some are saying that I'm very tan. I just had a good little staycation. It was nice. It was cool to stay home. Saw the Odyssey movie that everybody's been talking about.
Yeah.
It was good. It was good. I enjoyed it. Apparently you informed me that I saw it on the fake IMAX earlier.
Well, there's different. So IMAX, there's a spectrum of sizes.
I saw it on the fake one. I'm just kidding.
I'm just saying, like, there's different size IMAXs.
I was so excited to tell him that I saw a movie on an IMAX because you like movies. And I figured it was going to be like a nice relational bridge there. Like, hey, I saw a movie too in a theater. And you're like, yeah, it wasn't the real IMAX, but I'm sure it's okay.
I feel bad now.
But yeah, it was cool. The seats, however, were not great. It was like sitting, it was like an L.
You went
like
to that AMC IMAX.
Yeah, a right angle.
Yeah.
And it was super loud, but it was a good movie, especially like after the first 30 minutes when like all of my high school Western literature class came flooding back to me.
Yeah. Yeah. They throw it at you a lot in the very beginning.
It happens really quick.
Yeah.
It happens really quick. But that's a part of the allure of the movie because you feel like once you do get there, you've earned it.
Yeah. Yeah, so, for sure.
What about you, man? What you been up to?
All right, I got to share something with you. This is great. This made my day because I've been a little jealous. You've said over the episodes that you've talked about catching strays in the foyer.
Oh yeah, I am the favorite target.
And I didn't know that until that catching strays is like
Eric,
insults.
Hey, buddy, how's it going? Hey, you suck. Oh, thanks, man. Appreciate it.
You're an idiot.
Yeah, you would say that in front of a crowded foyer. Catch me outside, though.
So I don't deal with that a whole lot, and so I got my first, as you would say, stray. But this was via text.
Shot 9 times.
Now I'm not. You know this person.
Okay.
They are a major part of our church family. They're a professional. So we're talking doctor, lawyer, accountant, engineer. Right? They're like a
sandwich engineer.
yes. Extra pickles.
Yep.
And so they are a trustworthy person to get feedback from.
That always hurts too. It hurts more when it comes from
now
someone you
here's
trust.
the thing. It starts out with a great compliment. And then you can tell he's like, I don't want to just leave him with a compliment. So I just want to read this text to you, see what you think. It says, in an effort to love others better, I have to tell you, your messages are probably the best I've ever heard delivered anywhere.
Oh, wow.
I know, right? I mean, that's huge.
So was he lying to me a few weeks ago when he told me that? No.
Then he goes, now, don't get me wrong. You're still chubby.
Oh.
And say boneheaded things sometimes.
Okay.
But the Holy Spirit obviously comes and hangs out with you sometimes as well.
Yeah.
Keep it up.
I would just respond back, you know what? Hey, thank you. I sometimes like you too.
I said, my response was, thank you for the compliment and for balancing it out.
Yeah. And let me introduce you to a world.
I don't think another man has called me chubby in a long time.
Yeah, let me kind of give you a peek behind the curtain of what it's going to be like now.
Okay,
once you start catching strays. So you take it on the chin.
Yeah.
The first dozen or so times.
I was cool with this.
Yeah, you laugh it off. You say that's a good one, and then one day you kind of have a breaking point, so this happened to me. Someone really just insulted me.
Yeah.
And I think they were trying to be funny. This person's awkward anyways, but we don't have the kind of relationship where you could have said what he did say. He just insulted my appearance while I was talking to someone who was kind of like, it was an important conversation, and they just kind of walk up, interrupt, go, and I go, wow, really, man? I don't think it was the time for that. Which was also a very nice way of putting it.
Right.
But it got really awkward really quick and he scurried off. But you do reach a breaking point.
Yeah, sure. I heard a story of an old friend that I knew who was a youth pastor that actually at their church, they had kind of almost a suggestion box.
Oh, gosh.
Which is a terrible idea, by the way.
Yeah.
And so someone wrote in and said that he was the youth pastor and said that the youth pastor's hair was too long and she wasn't going to come back to the church until he cut it.
Oh, yeah. That's great. Yeah. I had one time when I was at camp where someone called and left a message on the church office condemning me for allowing the girls to wear two-piece bathing suits.
Yes.
One time.
Yes. And one time when our young adults leader, Chance, he was the youth pastor at one point, and he was called. I was called from the phone number on the side of the van.
Oh, yeah.
So that he was driving crazy, and I was like, yeah, he was.
And I don't know if
sure.
I talked about it recently. I got chewed out in the Walmart parking lot over something that happened with the kids in the fundraiser.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah, that was wild.
You took one on the chin for that, dude.
That was more than a stray. That was a direct hit.
Yeah,
dude.
that guy was not stable.
Yeah, so our kids were being kids,
right?
And apparently, according to them, an older gentleman kind of stormed through one of the aisles that they were, messing with balls and stuff like that, playing with the toys and stuff in the aisle.
Yeah, thanks for clarifying.
And they didn't see this gentleman, and so he just kind of yelled at him, move out of the way. What are y'all doing?
Yeah.
And one of the kids kind of walked.
This is in Walmart.
This is in Walmart.
Okay.
He was just kind of rude to them. Now, they weren't paying attention, but apparently he really just popped back hard.
Right.
And so one of the boys got silly, and the guy kind of waddled a little bit. Mm-hmm. And so he got behind him and waddled behind him, and the guy turned around and saw him and flipped his lid, dude. Called the church, man. I mean, man.
He was cussing you out, right?
He wasn't cussing me out.
Okay.
But he chewed me out worse without cuss words than someone has with cuss words.
Sure.
I mean, just belittling me, belittling the church. And I took a step back for a second. I wanted to dive back in, but I did a little bit of verbal judo and just kind of like, hey man, what can we do to squash this?
You went customer service mode.
Yeah. I understand you had a poor experience. What can I, and he wanted me to meet him up there, and it was just a whole
fight
thing.
You?
I asked him, I said, man, if you're looking for an altercation, I'm not going to give it to you.
Yeah.
But if you want an apology, I can make it happen.
Yeah.
And so anyway, got up there. It was just dumb. But yeah, people, when you're on the front lines of, I don't know what the word is. We do a lot of
ministry.
Ministry is the overarching term.
That's what we do.
But it's the relational aspect. When you're constantly dealing
in front of people.
When you're constantly in front of people, and you're dealing with people who don't always have a handle on their emotions or
their intellect,
or they don't have a filter,
or where they are in the world.
Yeah, and you catch it.
Yeah.
All of the time. So,
and I feel like pastors too. they know that we're not going to, unless
We can't do anything. It's not even fair.
unless you're Tony Spell in Louisiana.
Dude, catch me on a Saturday, brother, at the Shell station. Say that to me then.
Yeah, they know that we kind of got to take it.
Say that to me when I got a white tee on and some old jeans, and then let's see how the conversation
See what
goes.
happens
No,
then.
I wouldn't do anything still, but
Well, look,
it is tough.
It's a joke around here, and I know it gets said a lot. I sometimes tell the congregation that people be crazy, and people, they'll repeat that over and over. People be crazy. The truth is, dude, people be crazy. Yes, Eric, this is happening
What's happening?
right now.
I'm scared.
That thing that we said,
The thing that you forgot.
and then we were going to
When
do
you have you ever
And- but have
when
you-
you
that was awesome.
all right, someone's dying right now. We need to move on.
So this is a segment called Houston, we have a question.
Houston.
This is when we listen to our Sermonots. You guys can email us. You can send us messages through social media, although honestly, you'll be waiting for months on that one.
Yeah.
Notthesermon@gmail.com is the best way to get us. And you ask us questions. We have a backlog of these because of the summer break. We're between half a dozen and a dozen questions.
Yeah.
And so this is all from one listener, Liz. And she has a lot of questions. You want to just read this whole email? Then we'll go back and kind of work our way through these.
Break this down.
Yeah,
This is
okay.
going to be a marathon.
All right,
here.
go ahead and read them to us.
All right, so here is her list of questions. So, if Jesus had a walkout song after his resurrection, what would it be?
What time did she send this in the middle of the night? Because that is a middle of the night thought.
Yeah, I'll have to check the time
Okay.
later. What things came about after the fall or after the flood or even the Tower of Babel? I don't picture Eden having volcanoes or some of the bugs we have now. Mosquitoes had to be a result of one of those things. What about natural disasters? When did those start? How do animals know who to mate with? Okay. Why does a mockingbird only mate with another mockingbird and not a bluebird? What about a lemur? All the species that live on Madagascar. How do they know?
What about a hippopotamus? What about a giraffe?
Dogs and cats don't care who they mate with.
She's still going on.
I don't know. My dog has morals. That's why we have all kinds of random dog and cat breeds. But it's not the same in the wild. By the way, no, I have not been smoking marijuana or doing shrooms.
Sounds like something someone who's been doing those two things would say.
Some days my brain just thinks of random things. Sorry for the craziness. Shout out Liz.
Wow. That's a lot.
Yeah.
All right, Jesus' walkout. I mean, to me, Jesus' walkout song after the resurrection, it's got to be, "We are the champions."
Oh, yeah, that is a
my
good one.
friend."
I was going to say, "Back in Black."
In black.
Yeah, dude.
I don't know, dude. Now, for the second coming, it's going to be, "It's the final countdown."
Yeah, that would be good.
But yeah, no, I think it's got to be "We're the Champions," right?
Yeah.
Queen?
No, I think Queen wins on this one. Yeah.
I paid my dues.
Oh, it's perfect.
I mean,
yeah.
it's pretty good.
There's no other answer. That's the answer to it.
Except he didn't have fame and fortune and everything that goes with it.
Yeah.
But it's okay.
It goes with
Everything that goes with it. I think you are. But it's been no bed of roses.
It's funny. There's certain songs that you can only sing them how they sing them. Yeah. Like you can't you can't like add your spin on it or redo it. It has to be exactly.
Well, there's too many words in that
all
phrase.
the things that go with it. You have to do it like that.
I've had fame and fortune and everything that goes with it. All right. What
and
things?
Then Mama. You can't go easy on that part.
Ooh. All right. What things came about after the fall or after the flood or even the Tower of Babel? Man, she's just laying those out
What's
there.
really cool is she's isolated 3 fall events.
Right.
I mean, those theologically, when you look at them, are 3 separate instances of a fall occurring in humanity, all with their own consequences.
Then they not only had spiritual implications, but natural, right? So let's just talk about the fall first. Well, I mean, the fall caused everything. I mean, it's when sin was introduced, not only to the man and the woman, but also to the world.
Yeah.
The world became cursed after the sin of Adam specifically, and when God is doling out punishments as a result from the fall, he says, Adam, you'll work really hard. And he goes, but the earth is cursed because of you.
Yeah.
And then later in Romans 8, we've talked about this before, Romans 8 talks about the earth is groaning, that it too has been subject to sickness, to sin sickness as well. So that's the things that came about after the fall. Not only sin for mankind, but the broken world that we live in, even things like cancer, even things like, the natural disasters and things like that happen. Yeah, it's the fall. And
I'm not especially when it comes to natural disasters, there are most definitely aspects of that I believe are attributed to the fall and sort of the degradation of creation. But also, I like to think about those natural disasters and stuff. Why are they disasters? Well, I think one of the main reasons they're disasters is because people die. In them. And I'd have to think, even if there was such thing as a storm or a hurricane or something like that, if we weren't subject to death like we are now, we wouldn't necessarily see those as disastrous as we see them now.
A mudslide wouldn't be terrible if it didn't take out our house.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's just the mud got heavier.
Exactly.
Gravity took it, and
Sometimes people really play this game where they try to attribute everything they don't like to being, a result of the fall.
Or having some sort of spiritual significance.
Yeah. Even mosquitoes. A lot of people joke, and Liz is probably joking about that too, because mosquitoes are very annoying. But mosquitoes are a part of the ecosystem. I mean, they feed things that do other things that do other things, and there's a whole chain of biology that is for the benefit of the earth.
Right.
And so something like mosquitoes, to me, that's not a result of the fall.
But maybe they had a role earlier that wasn't just sucking blood from humans.
Maybe they were muses and bards, and they sung of the glories of humanity from bar to bar.
Okay, Odysseus.
Yeah.
All right, what's next? How do animals know who to mate with?
All right, so I want to take this one.
Oh,
okay.
Okay.
All right,
I bet you do.
How do animals know who to mate with? This is my question back to you. Question with a question.
Okay.
How do you know who to mate with?
Some people don't.
Because there's that aspect of it. And she kind of touches on that, with stray dogs, the idea of stray dogs.
Sure.
But
catching strays.
I mean, obviously there's biological systems at play that you also experience. I, for one, do not find a hummingbird attractive.
Really? I think they're beautiful.
Biologically.
Oh, okay.
I don't want to mate with one. How about that?
Got it.
But I think there's there's definitely a biological and neurological design. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe it's almost like there was an intelligent designer that made us attracted to things of our kind.
Well, I will say too, animals don't have spirits, right? They don't have the level of intelligence that humans do, although some of them can be very intelligent, but they mainly act on instinct.
Yeah.
Right. They don't, the prefrontal cortex that's processing information, making decisions.
It's like that of a 13-year-old boy.
Or worse. And so, the animals are acting on instinct. They're not thinking things through like we do. And so they're not thinking nearly as deeply as we are.
And also in terms of the cats and dogs, there's also a difference, species can mate with people of this or things of the same species, right? There's even instances the liger, the lion and the tiger, two different types
Pretty much
of
my favorite animal.
Yeah. Good one there.
Thanks.
But they can create, a horse and a donkey can create a mule, but a mule can't create another mule.
A honky.
Yeah.
Isn't that what a horse and a donkey are called?
No, I think it's called a mule.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Yeah,
Never mind. Sorry.
So there's some biology going on there, and those are my thoughts on that.
Well, I just want to say, Liz, it's pretty obvious you are doing shrooms, so stop lying. Oh boy, Eric, it's time. Woo! Are you ready? Are you ready to make a proclamation?
To which God?
Just to me.
No.
Yeah. Well, raise your right hand.
Can I put my hand on the astronaut?
Yes. That way we know you're for real.
It's my left hand and my fingers are crossed.
I can see that. All right. Repeat this after me.
All right.
I, Eric. Make the promise.
To
you, Jamie.
To Eugene.
Who is not a god.
For sure.
To send you memes. So help me God. All right, guys, this is when we look at
astronauts glowing,
a meme that we've been sent or we discovered ourselves, and we talk about it. And this This is kind of funny. It's a little boomer humorish. Some kind of dad jokes in here, and then there's commentary after. There's 3 little jokes that are made, and then some commentary afterwards.
It's grandpa brain rot.
And
that's what it is.
And then we'll discuss it afterwards. So here we go.
Thomas, Jesus has risen from the dead.
No way. Yahweh.
Help! Jesus, I'm sinking.
Hi, sinking. I'm Jesus.
Yeah.
Good one.
That's the father, God the Father.
Make this count.
They're playing
Jesus.
tennis.
Match point.
Fear not, my child, for I did not come down here to be served,
Yes, that's what I'm talking about.
but to serve.
So this is the commentary.
Oh, God, if you laughed, you're a bad Christian.
Amen.
I'm kidding. So many people can't take a joke and they think that this is blasphemy or making fun of Jesus. No, Jesus has a sense of humor, and I can guarantee you he finds those videos funny.
Okay. So this guy's like, look, chill out. You know, although the humor in that was a little bit
I was going to say,
questionable.
I'm going to make an argument and say God did not laugh at that because it wasn't funny.
Well, let's assume it was funny.
Okay, for a second.
And then, so if it was funny, does Jesus laugh? Does Jesus have a sense of humor? Obviously, there are going to be boundaries around humor. Paul talks about no coarse jesting, right? That's something that he says that we should not do, Christians should not do. But jesting, there's nothing wrong with that,
Yeah.
right?
And I would say, and I've kind of like thought about that phrase. I would say coarse jesting is joking in such a way to tear someone down.
Yes, because contextually, what he's talking about is how our speech affects other people.
Yeah.
Not necessarily 4-letter words and the like, although we need to be careful with that.
Sure.
And, that can offend people.
Yeah.
And it's just, there's certain speech that's not becoming of Christians. But yeah, I mean, the idea, coarse jesting, I would think it wouldn't necessarily be, a dirty joke, although it could be, as much as it is like joking and like tearing down the image of God in someone else, right?
Yeah. Yes, I think
You
there's
okay?
I'm thinking.
You be
I was thinking about. I found a joke that Jesus told, and I was thinking about it because I always giggle every time I see it.
Okay.
But yeah, no, I think there's a differentiation between general humor, having fun, not taking yourself so seriously, and then doing it in such a way that's going to tear someone down and make
Sure.
someone hurt.
Sure.
I think that's what Paul's talking about because sometimes people who don't have a sense of humor will see other people laughing and be like, "Oh, that's coarse jesting.
Yeah.
That's what the Bible tells us not to do."
Right.
I'm like, "What? It tells us not to be funny."
Yeah.
Humor is one of the purest forms of humanity. It's just what we've always done. Things
Sure.
have always been funny. But
and why would everything comes from God, right? It's only been twisted through the fall, as we talked about last segment. God gave us humor.
Yeah.
God gave us the ability to laugh.
Yeah.
And so it's a godly thing to have joy and laugh and have humor. So yeah, humor definitely is not a bad thing. It's a good thing.
For sure. So here's my Jesus joke.
Okay, what you
I
got?
think it's a joke. I could just be misreading it.
Okay.
But I always giggle when I see this. So this is Matthew 23:24. And Jesus says, he's talking to the Pharisees. He says, "You blind guides.
Yes.
You strain out a gnat, but you swallow a camel."
It's a good one.
He just made a poop joke.
That's a good one.
Like you take all this out, but you only strain out a little bit. Like,
Right,
I mean,
right.
that was to me an obvious poop joke.
Yeah.
Even
Even stuff like the blind leading the blind.
Yeah, that's funny.
That's funny.
Yeah.
My favorite one is when he talks about people who are trying to remove the speck in someone's eye.
Yeah.
And they've got like a log
in their eyes.
That's hysterical.
That's humor.
It's really funny.
Yeah.
It's exaggeration for the point of humor. And the people who were listening were laughing.
Yeah.
So what would you say, Eric, are the boundaries around laughing? Because there is some stuff I've seen making fun of that's not just Christian humor or humor about the Bible, but it's actually making fun of Jesus. I'm thinking in particular the South Park episode, right, where Jesus and Satan are, I've never seen it, but I've just heard about it or seen clips where they're like boxing or something.
Yeah.
Like, so at what point is it okay for Christians to laugh at religious stuff? At what point does it become sacrilegious or blasphemy?
Well, I think it becomes sacrilegious and blasphemous when you think about the place it's coming from and the person it's going towards, right? Like if you're making fun of God, from a place of just disrespect and contempt for the things of God, that's blasphemy.
Yeah.
But like if you make a joke like this is probably what God's thinking right now, or if I were God, I would do this. I think it's all from the place it comes from.
Yeah.
Like to me, anytime an atheist or somebody is making fun of God, they're making fun of God.
Right.
But it's not a humorous endeavor. They're doing it for the purpose of denigrating the name of God.
And there's a difference between, poking fun and calling out something that's humorous or funny and like derision.
Yeah.
Right. And like just being mean-spirited.
Or condescending. And I see people do that a lot, on social media, like that with jokes about God or poking little things. I know Christians who try to be edgy who, will say negative things about the Bible or about God or Jesus or whatever. But I'm like, I know them. I know what place is coming from, and it makes me feel gross.
Yeah, and it's funny. Someone commented recently on a clip from one of my sermons that we put on social media, and they were like, this is ridiculous. I can't believe you said that. And I replied, I was like, you should listen to the whole sermon.
Yeah.
This is just a clip. There's no way a clip can represent an entire sermon. We're banking on the fact that there's goodwill.
Dude, I one time got the whole church to yell the word diarrhea in the middle of a sermon. Do you remember that?
I do.
I don't even know what sermon it was, but I was joking about Pepto-Bismol.
Right, and you started singing the song.
Nausea, heartburn, indigestion, upset stomach, and I turned the mic, and the whole congregation was like, diarrhea! And I was like, yo!
That was one of the best moments in church history.
It was. So, that's funny, though. And I think churches we've done a really good job because of who we are, creating a culture of humor.
Yeah.
Now, I will say it sometimes gets annoying, though. It gets annoying when people don't because there's a time and a place. There really is. And I don't, and that's a moving goalpost by nature, right? Like when it's proper to be funny or make a joke is a moving goalpost depending on the situation. And so that's why it's always hard for me to tell someone where the line is, because the line's always moving.
Well, and you got to feel it.
But sometimes people will just catch you or say something in the middle of a moment. Just back to our conversation about catching strays.
Right.
Like, hey, if we were out to dinner or something and you said that, it would have been a joke.
Yeah.
But the fact that you interrupted a pastoral conversation to pick on me, no longer funny.
Isn't that the key to humor, though? The key to humor isn't what's funny, but when it's funny.
Yeah.
Timing.
Yeah.
A well-timed joke, it can be so funny. Like the response someone has and all that. So timing is, I think, so much more important than we realize when it comes to humor. Knowing when to make a joke, knowing when it's appropriate, knowing your audience, right? All that kind of stuff. There have been people I love who've listened to this podcast and they were just like, I don't get it. I'm like, yeah, it's not for you.
Yeah, you're just not going to get it.
It's not that I don't love you.
Yeah,
but you don't get this. This isn't for you.
It's a sense,
something
that's
else.
why we call it a sense of humor. I think everybody's sense of humor is also a little bit like me and you. We're both funny, but I think we have like different things that make us laugh.
Yeah,
right. Like. I'm all for like absurdity and nonsense and the wrong thing at the wrong moment type comedy. I would say yours is a lot more pure comedy, like funny jokes, turns of phrases,
wordplay. I love wordplay,
stuff like that. Like wordplay is okay to me,
right?
But I want the Kool-Aid Man to bust through the wall.
Yeah, sure.
I like
that too. Also, like a good video of someone falling down.
Yeah,
and that's funny. I like a cat being scared or something.
The older I get, the more those videos of people falling down hurt me. Because I'm like, when I was a kid, like, but now I'm like, oh God, the tailbone.
Oh yeah, real quick, gotta tell a story on my wife, Tiff. So we watched the new Spider-Man movie.
Okay.
And he fell out of the window. And the scene, he didn't have a shirt on. And so he hit really hard on the railing during the scene. And she goes, and she whispered to me, she goes, that would have killed someone. I said, baby, he's Spider-Man.
Yeah, he's Spider-Man. Yeah.
Right. That's not a normal person.
Yeah. Now, there is a flip side to this now. Like, so I remember having been saved maybe a year and a half. And at the time.
This is last week?
Yeah.
Okay.
At the time, I was a part of a traveling drama troupe.
Oh.
Where we would travel and do Christian dances at places.
Wait. You were part of, is this serious?
I'm 100% serious.
You're part
I have
of a
pictures.
traveling drama troupe.
Yeah.
Oh, did y'all do puppets?
No. We did dances, like kind of like what we do on Sunday mornings.
So
sometimes.
You were cool.
Yeah, we were cool for sure. And there was a time there where we stayed pretty busy.
Yeah.
So, a lady that goes to our church
nursing
now,
home.
Donna, you know Donna?
I know Donna.
Shout out Donna. She was like sort of our like troop leader.
She's not
sort of.
listening, dude.
It's okay. I'll send it to her. But I remember going and us traveling to a church and doing a performance and then sitting down and listening to the pastor preach.
Yeah.
And it was like this dude's, 30-minute stand-up special.
Yeah.
And it was just like, and you could tell his congregation had just been trained to,
Right. They laugh at everything.
they laughed at everything. And I remember at like a year and a half into this whole Christianity thing and being like, what is this guy even doing? I mean, like, I don't know who I am, but this is not preaching. This is you like just riffing because it makes you feel good.
There's a balance. I took a risk last Sunday. Listener, we were doing our Elephants in the Room series.
Are you talking about your misogynist joke?
Yes, we tackle tough topics. And I was talking about how under Sharia law, we were talking about Islam and Christianity and the differences, and talking about how under Sharia law, like women's rights disappear. And I said, even the Taliban, they don't let women drive. And I go, which... I mean, that's not so. And it got some laughs, it got some groans, but I needed to break up because it was a heavy subject. And I had thrown a ton of information out there. And I feel like it landed.
Those are the best laughs when you're in the middle of like a really tense moment and they need some humor and you hit them with something and they're like, it's like they explode.
Yeah.
I think humor is integral to the life of the church, to the Christian. I think we ought to be able to laugh at ourselves, pick fun at ourselves. I think we need to learn where the boundaries are. I don't think anybody can tell you that.
And that's where Holy Spirit, right? I mean, that's where there have been times when I've taken it too far. You and I,
for sure.
We just start riffing on
the whole
each other.
First season of this podcast was.
But there have been times, even mission trips and stuff together, we're talking, we're cutting up, and all of a sudden we look at each other, we're like, okay, that's too much.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Holy Spirit helps us. He convicts us.
It's also really funny to make jokes around people who don't speak your language.
That's true.
It's time.
What's the time for, Eric?
A little bit of Pester the Pastor.
Pester the Pastor is when Eric and I pester each other with just random questions about stuff that we've been thinking about. And I've got one for you today, okay? I think normally you're pestering me, but I want to pester you a little bit. I was thinking about something. I actually walked into the restroom.
The women's restroom at a Dillard's. Oh, no, that was me.
That was you. I remember that story. Forever ingrained in your brain, isn't it? No, I walked into our restroom here at our worship center, and dude, I love our restroom. And the reason why I love it so much is because what are you doing?
I don't know.
What are you about to do? Okay, there it is. There it is. He was looking for a button
I'm still
to push.
rusty.
He just had to push a button.
I'm rusty.
Got to push a button. And so I walked in, pristine stalls.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, plenty of room. Lots of sinks, automated soap and towels.
No gaps in the stall doors.
No gaps in the stall doors. I mean, you don't need those. You can see feet, right?
Yeah, you don't make the awkward eye contact through the gap.
When it's locked, it's red. When it's unlocked, it's green. Like they're so nice.
You don't have to. Someone doesn't have to go and give it the jiggle, and you have to say occupied.
Occupado.
Yeah.
And so the reason I like the restrooms here so much is because for so long, our restrooms were terrible, dude.
Yeah.
At the front, like the main entrance, we had one commode for the men's restroom and one for the women's. That was it.
Yeah.
And then in the back of the building, we had like maybe just two.
Yeah. It was tough. Yeah. There was a lot of awkward moments exchanging, walking past people.
Yeah. Yeah. Especially if they didn't lock the door.
Yeah. Or they didn't spray.
True. And so I love the fact that we have a nice restroom for our people.
Yeah.
And that it's clean and it's well put together, designed well. I just love that. And it got me thinking, is it okay to take pride in your facilities? I would say be proud of it, not being prideful, right?
Yeah.
Which is ours is better than someone else. I mean, that would be prideful, right?
Yeah.
But like, what's the balance of taking pride in your facilities, and what's the role of buildings in worship? And can you honor God with a building? Like we often say that the church is people, which it is, but at the same time, those people need a place to gather. And so we don't want to worship the building. We don't want to think that attending a building or going to a building is what the Lord's asking us to do. At the same time, though, isn't it kind of honoring to have a nice building?
Yeah. I think so. I think this is where there's a big divide in the church world, unfortunately, because you have people that have really incredible, beautiful, historic architecture, buildings. You know, they have nice stuff. And, you know, sometimes there's a tendency there for people to kind of push back against the idea that this is ultimately not the kind of church that God is building. He's building a church of believers.
He's building a building.
Yeah, he's not building a building. But then, you know, there's been like sort of this reverse course on that where people, they don't like the building. They always talk negatively about the building. You look around these four walls, this isn't the church. I'm like, yeah, there's definitely truth to that. But I think there is something to be said about honoring God with a sacred space.
Yeah.
A space that is sacred not because it's a building, but because of what happens there.
Well, because of the people who are in it, right? I mean, we are now the temple of the Lord. He lives in us. He's among us. And so where we go, he is.
Yeah.
And so I agree we should fight against the premise that, like, for instance, sometimes people showed up at the church and say, hey, I just want to pray at the church. And it's like, you know, you can pray anywhere.
Yeah.
But at the same time,
I get it, though.
I get it. This is where you met the Lord.
Yeah.
Right?
I don't think that went away. I think there's this misunderstanding that this idea of meeting God in a specific space and specific time is no longer necessary. Like, I think the Bible makes it clear that the old temple system is obsolete. We don't need that. We don't need, you know, priests intermediating between us and God.
Yeah.
But I think all throughout Scripture we see this concept that there can be special places, and they're not special because God made them special. They're special because we made them special.
Right. Or God in us.
Or God in us made them special. And so, like, when people, you know, because we've had that discussion about people wanting to come and pray at the church, and we're kind of, you know, obviously there's nuance to that, but I'm like, yeah, I get it. Like, I get wanting to be in the place where you encountered God.
But we don't keep the church doors open 24/7 because we don't want them to steal the guitars.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean,
but I think you can be proud of a church space to the degree that it serves your people.
Yeah.
I think the moment that the building stops serving the people and the people start serving the building, that's when you've gone out of balance. But I think very much the church building can be a very special place. You know, it's funny. I was, you know, a friend of mine just started a new church. It used to be an old holiness church. It's you know, one of those old cinder block churches you drive by in between towns.
Yeah.
And I remember walking in there, and obviously my friend's super proud of this accomplishment. It's something they've been praying for, and I sensed that in him. But I remember also walking in there and just sensing the presence of God in the place. And I think especially as charismatics who have a natural tendency to be able to sense the presence of God through unconventional means, we should also be able to direct that towards conventional means as well. And say, I'm okay with this being a particular place. You know, I'll be honest with you. I have a space in my house. You know, it's kind of like my office study. That's my preferred place of prayer. Now, if I were taking the other side of that logic to the extreme end, there'd be no reason for me to go in that place and pray when I could pray right there in the kitchen.
Right.
Well, here's the thing. I don't want to pray in the kitchen.
Right.
I want to pray in the place where I put comfortable chairs where I can sit, and there's a cross, and there's a picture of Jesus, and there's my Bibles. That's where I want to pray. Is God any more in there than he is in the dining room? No. But my experience of him is.
Now, when you say there's a picture of Jesus, be honest, did you just put up a mirror?
No, not at all. I actually have an icon in there. It's funny. I had some people over to the house a couple months ago, and I was kind of taking them through. And I do have like a little ledge above my fireplace that's kind of like, it's like a bunch of icons and stuff like that. And I was like, I know this looks weird, but let me just explain the story, because I don't just collect icons. They all came from somewhere special. And so like I can kind of tell the story and the history behind them. But I think Christians should be proud of their buildings. I think we should keep the focus on the building serving the people. You know, because when we forget that, you know, we forget who we are as a church. And so, I'm pro building to the degree that it serves God's people.
And I do think something done well, something done masterfully, something that's beautiful can inspire awe and can point us towards the Lord, right?
It always has.
Yeah, whether it's a song or whether it's a building. I think excellence, I think there's something about excellence that makes us all, you know, maybe give thanks. And realize that the Lord has inspired us. He's gifted us to do something wonderful, and that's in balance, right? That's a good thing.
Well, think about this, like church architecture, right? Like it's obviously evolved over time. We're in a more contemporary phase where churches look less like they did 50 years ago with the steeple and the pews and stuff like that. But church architecture throughout history has been designed to bring glory and attention to God.
Yeah.
Think about like you've been to St. Peter's Basilica, right?
Yeah.
I've only seen pictures, but you notice the architecture draws you up. All the magic in the basilica is up there, not down here.
Right.
Which
is where the Lord is, right? The idea.
Yeah, the idea
look
that's
up at
where
him.
God is. But also think of it you're a middle-class peasant out in the middle of the woods, faithful to God. You make a journey to St. Peter's Basilica, and just imagine the impact that has on you spiritually. Now, there's two sides of that. One side of it is you may think that's where God is, and he's not in your village. That's a problem.
And you don't want it to ever become exclusionary and exclusive, right? Where it's like, this is too nice. I don't feel comfortable, being in that place.
Yeah.
But I get your point.
But the other side of that is it brings honor and glory to God. Like now there's sort of, a lot of people for the past 100 years or so have been obsessed with going to Israel. Well, if you truly believe that spaces and stuff weren't important, then you got Israel living in you, baby.
Right.
But no, why do you want to go there? Because you want to walk the streets that Jesus walked. You want to experience life like Jesus would have experienced it. Right. It's a special place. It's a place where you can't get that experience anywhere else.
Yeah.
I believe that same thing is true about the church. And I would, me, I'm always in favor, like, hey man, let's bring some more wood grain in here. Let's throw some crosses on the wall. I think there's a balance that's going to be had eventually, over time. But yeah, I think we can, I don't think the balance is as hard to attain as we think it is.
Right.
Man, we're just so about extremes.
And I don't think the balance is found in necessarily, natural grain wood or walls painted black. I think the balance is found in our mentality of how we approach these things and recognizing, hey, I can experience the presence of the Lord wherever I am because he is potentially everywhere, right? And when the moment I give my attention, my affection to him, he's there, and I get to meet with him in this cinder block, old Pentecostal Holiness Church, or in a new modern looking building like we have.
It's the same God.
Or in St. Peter's Basilica.
Yeah.
Any of those places we can meet with the Lord if we're willing, because he's willing.
Yeah. Last thing, I took a class on the history of American worship.
What a great use of money.
And it was actually really incredible because what you see, it really before American history, I mean, from Catholicism all the way to today, each generation's form of worship, because worship changes generationally.
Yeah, sure.
There's no one decade. I mean, there's maybe some that were more similar than others, but there's no one decade where Christians worship the same, even if they're the same tradition. But the history of worship is a history of reactions.
Yeah.
Each generation reacts to some of the abuses or overemphases of the previous generation.
Right.
Like, for you guys, y'all grew up in the, if you ran it, you got yelled at for running in the church. You couldn't put your shoes on your shoes on the pews.
Right.
You got smacked for talking too loud. And so you guys wanted to create a more relational spot and a place where you could really, dive in creatively.
Right.
So you painted the ceilings black.
Right.
You got rid of the windows.
Yeah.
And you created multi-purpose spaces.
Right.
Now it's funny, my generation now is kind of flipping back over because we grew up in the black ceilings and the stackable chairs and we're like,
where it wasn't special,
and there's nothing, and we're like, everywhere we go, there's nothing special about anything.
Right.
I want church to be special. And so now you're seeing, more, wood grain and pews coming back. Sure. It's just always just reaction after reaction.
One of my favorite Sunday morning setups, though, is in our, modern worship center, with the black ceilings and all the latest tech and all that kind of stuff, is when we have stained glass on the LED screen.
Yeah.
It's cool looking. Yeah. Because it's like this cool, like, mishmash combination of, like, modern and contemporary and traditional and old. And it's really cool.
That's good.
And a good time was had by all. I really enjoyed this. Did you enjoy this?
Yeah, it was a good episode.
Did you really enjoy it, Eric?
No, but I just, for the fan, I'm just kidding.
For the fans. I remembered we talked about catching strays in the beginning. I did catch another one in the foyer, but this guy was just more confused.
Yeah.
I didn't understand what he's talking about at first. He looked at me and goes, you have a weird line on your head.
Ah,
I was like, what?
You finally, they told you about the line you have?
You have a weird line. I was like, okay. And he was just staring at me, like trying to figure out where it was. He didn't see it.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. And then he goes, well, you should turn your head more when you talk. And I was like, what? What are you saying?
Oh,
I
that's
got
great.
home and I realized what he was talking about.
What is it?
It was my mic.
Oh,
He saw the mic that goes over both ears and then comes out, across my what do you call those?
Live in a hole somewhere?
I guess he was far enough away he didn't recognize what it was, maybe. And it looked like a line on my face, and then he didn't see it when he was confronting me about it.
Oh, you're talking about the projecty voice thing.
So it was so weird, dude. But when I realized what he was talking about, I just started laughing. I was like, "Oh my gosh!"
I thought he was talking about like a frown line or something like that.
Me too. I was like, "What line's on my face?" Like, what are you talking about? And I realized it was the microphone.
Gosh,
and he didn't realize what that was.
People
be
peopling.
They'd be crazy.
Awesome. Well, this was an excellent episode. We thank you guys for tuning in. And don't forget about us on social media. Go and share our reels. Hey, look, if you're listening to us right now, one of the best things you can do to help us is give us a like and a follow on social media, on your podcasting platform. And also, if you're interested in getting about at least 30 more minutes of weekly content, you can subscribe to our Patreon page where the cameras keep rolling. Not only do you get to see the line on Jamie's face, but you also get our in-between banter, which, like I said, it's an extra 30 minutes of Not the Sermon.
You get to see me yell at Eric whenever he doesn't unmute the Bluetooth channel.
Or just hit wrong buttons all the time. I'm still breaking it in.
He does that. He does that. I cut that out of the audio, but the Patreon guys see the real.
You see it all.
They see the real stuff.
Well, thank you for listening to Not the Sermon.
Thanks for listening. This podcast is a production of Victory Fellowship Church in Thomasville, Georgia. Eric and Jamie can be reached at emailing notthesermon@gmail.com.
Father to the fatherless, defender of the little kids, gracious and compassionate, wasn't